bowlers. You can hear me say, you can't, you can't. That's too bad. I will try to speak loudly. It's not very often you get an opportunity to talk about your friends, their achievements. Today is really an honorable day for me because I got two of them. And it's just a wonderful day here for me to induct and give a little talk about Chuck Leone, Charlie Leone's economist. If I go on and talk about accolades and how I feel about the guy, I got a big list of his accomplishments. First, I'll talk about the meritorious services. First of all, in years in local, as a volunteer coach and director, for 18 years, he's just a kid himself. Look what he's doing it for 18 years. YBA, 15 years coordinator, junior program, board member, not just YBA. ABC director at large for 5 years. BPA, 13 years, Southeast District president for 13 years. You guys 40 years old? Think about that. 2 years president of Rochester Bowling Council. 5 years Southeast District secretary. Also that time for secretary. Where did you get all this time, man? Stop being a good bowler. As far as the local, he was secretary for 5 years. President for 5 years. He was one of the originators of the high school bowling club, which some it's kind of unique. Dropping. We've all from 3 to over 90 teams. There's a possibility, as everybody's goal, that this should probably be a letter support. For us, we love going for sure. And again, you talked about the 75,000 for the Team USA. He was chairman of the State Youth Bowling Committee at ABC for 3 years, and the Bowling Pride Association for 7 years. Years of state level service, 6 years director at large for the ABC. As far as the state, he was the president of Minnesota Bowling Council for 2 years, president of the Bowling Pride Association for 2 years, president of the YBA for 11 years. But he's really been focused on youth because that's where I go to. He's got kids down, keep them running right now. This kid, this morning says, the kid was mad at him. I was talking to Charlie and he walked in and wanted the refrigerator over there. Man, I didn't say anything. What's wrong with him? Well, he was mad at his dad because he didn't take him anywhere.
I was tied up. Talking to you.
Years of service at the national level, he was 2 years National YBA Board of Directors. 2 years he was a member of the National Coaches Association USA Charter member. Let's talk about this. He has great pride in. Let's talk about state championships. State championship titles, 19, well, he may not have won this one, but he right now is currently leading in 1995 doubles with 1472 wins. In 1995 team event with 3542. 1994 team event, 3326. 1991 mixed couples team. So he bowls, he has time to bowl with his wife and Rob, right? His wife. 2604. He was a gold medal winner in the state and the Star of the North. In 1982, he was a doubles champion, state doubles champion with Bruce Ford. He was 21 years old. This guy. His team always champion. 1976. City championships in 1977, the Minneapolis Doubles. We had 13-12. In 1979, the Rochester team event at 33:01. In 1983, the Rochester team event at 32:96. Other championships. In 1976, he was a lucky 13 mixed couples champion with Carol Larson. He had 18-54. In 1982, he was the Peterson Classic doubles champion with Marlon Root. In 1988, he was Tri-State team event at 33:96. In 1991, U.S. Open champion for Minnesota. In 1992, Mustain team at 34. In 1993, he won a CBA title, which he probably tried to go all. He's, of course, he's two-time Minnesota Masters champion. You guys hear me? Or you? Or you gotta be paying attention here. It's not often I get a chance to talk to all you folks. In 1994, Fargo team champions for 33-87, and 1994, Fargo double champion of 1463. As far as sanctioned participation, he's been in 16 state tournaments, 22 years in the league, 8 years as a junior holder. He's had 22 years, 200 plus average leagues. He has 3 300 games. He has 3 299 games. His highest is 794. 802. I don't care what they want to have. It's difficult. He's also USA team finals in 1977. The CBE Vote of the Year in 1993. The John Dork Award for most dollars won in 1993. Here's a real good award. Bob Hansen Sportsmanship. Bob Hansen is known for his gentleness, soft-spoken sportsman. It's awarded to the older sportsman. The highest scoring that he had in the state tournament was 7. Now I give you all these numbers. Very personal for me. Since I've been in Rochester, I came here. I lived as a teammate. Suffered with him as a teammate. You know, my nerves sometimes, and so was everybody else, so it's nothing. I still like to you all to welcome to well-deserved honor. Rochester Hall of Fame. Check that. I didn't say thank you to Debbie for being here today.
Okay, let's get back.
Yeah, that's all.
I'm used to it.
I owe you something, Debbie. Because he can't do anything without that lady.
I have a couple things I want to say. I want to thank Harold and Deb for being such wonderful speakers, giving us a little extra time. I did want to congratulate Harold, being that he's been a sanctioned bowler for 42 years. That's pretty darn impressive. As pointed out, I haven't even reached that age yet. I thought that was quite a statistic there, Harold. Congratulations. Dick, it's kind of like old home week here with Steve up here and Lew and myself. The 4 of us kind of started a tournament team back in 1977 when I came to town. We had a lot of fun. And I think there's another guy here by the name of Maury Schutz, if I'm not mistaken. 5 of us were the original Fab 5 from Detroit, but actually it was only Lew that was from Detroit. We really did have a great time when we were all together. Did want to mention one thing. I know that maybe it's kind of ironic, but Lew being the person that did my induction today was, the reason I had picked Lew out was that in 1974, and I was just 18 years old at that time. I was in Fairmont, and I had, it was my first year out on the so-called circuit, bowling and tournaments, and one of the teams we bowled on lanes 3 and 4 in Fairmont was a team from Rochester who would have Ted Connor, I think, was bowling, and Dick and Lew, and the one thing that kind of stuck out in my mind was this black man was so friendly to me. And I remember when I was growing up, my parents said, "Stay away from the blacks." I want you to know, Lew, that you're a sweet guy, and I'm telling you, that it doesn't matter if you're black, white, pink, or purple, people are people, and I really learned a lesson that day, and it's kind of gone with me throughout my entire life. And, I really appreciated his friendship that day. It was really special. You've heard all my accomplishments, but really, the first thing as far as being given the honor of my bowling accomplishments, which is really why I wanted to be a bowler. I wanted to be a pro bowler when I was a kid, but I just found myself getting in the bowling business. That seemed to be the right thing to do, and turned out everything went really great for me. Dick talked about, or I shouldn't say Dick, but I guess it was Steve that talked about the rubber ball, the 800 series that Dick rolled. That is a fantastic series, by the way. It's probably one of the biggest successes a person could have had back in those days. That is impressive. And as Lew pointed out, I don't have an 800 yet, and I've got the cheater stuff to use. But I was really impressed with Dick. But some of the things that have gone through my lifetime, I guess one of the special moments for me was back in '82 when we won the Peterson Classic with Marlon Root from Zumbrota. Marlon was just a 165 average bowler, and I was maybe 195, 200 at that time, based on the conditions. But to win the Classic doubles scratch with Marlon Root was a tremendous honor. And we had a great time that summer out on his farm. We had a big pig roast. It was just great, but that was one of the special moments. And I'm going to try and keep it short, so I won't get into some of the other things that I've done. I do want to tell you about the shot that was heard around the world. If you were at the Team USA Team Japan match, you would have heard about it. But I got sick last summer and had a little vertigo in the middle of summer, and I was down for the count for 2 weeks. And then in August, they had the U.S. National Amateur Championship, which was held at Southtown Bowl. That was a direct result of the efforts of Gene Glorvigan, Tom Rubinstein, and myself. We first got Slurry Bowl cherries off the ground back in 1992, and the sponsorship of Team USA. Anyways, I was given the honorary distinction of opening the ceremonies that day for the first ball shot. And being that I'd been sick, I just kind of recovered, and everybody's kind of picking on me a little bit just to see what kind of a, the big joke was, well, would I hit the head pin? So people were betting on me, seeing if I'd hit the head pin. And then the over-under on the shot was 7, which means if I got 7, everybody breaks even. If you bet, and you think I'm not going to get 7 and I get 8, well then, you lose, and then of course if it goes the other way, you win. So I get up there for this big shot. Now you got to understand, there's about 250 athletes from around the entire United States, and in fact, in other parts of the world that had qualified for this. And some of the bowlers that were in the event were some of the teammates I now bowl with, and they were all bragging about how I was going to get a strike and everything. And so anyways, I got up there and I made my shot, and the other people that were in the crowd, there must have been close to 500 people. Anyways, I put it right in the pocket, and I started to run it out, and I left the 5, 7, 10. Thankfully, they got it on tape, so I could view it at home. Special moments. So anyways, it doesn't happen. You get one shot to leave the 5, 7, 10, but I did it. I'm good at it, too. Under meritorious service, I came to Rochester in 1977, and I was just a third partner back then with Jim Madden, who was from Minneapolis. I'm originally from Minneapolis myself. And he taught me to be real involved in the bowling business, and that's how I ended up getting. I got really involved, as you heard about. And one of my biggest, there's a couple things I'd like to see happen in my lifetime before I take off. One of them is, which was brought up, that was the high school bowling league, actually the bowling clubs right now. I'd like to see it be a high school bowling league. It was one of the things when I was a kid, when I was in AJBC, I always said we need to have high school bowling leagues. As it turned out, myself, Gary Stotts from Owatonna, and Vance Ballasek from Elton Lake, three of us kind of put the thing together, and as we pointed out, we had teams from recreation and from tropical also. It was a 6-team league. We had a team from Mustain the very first year. It was so great watching these kids bowl in Baker System style. They just had a blast. I don't know if you've seen it, if you've witnessed it, you'll understand what I'm saying, but it is the most exciting event out there. It is wonderful. Also, another thing I'd like to see is bowling getting into the Olympics. I really think bowling needs to be a little bit more, it should be given gold medal status, number one. It is in the Olympics, but it's just not the gold medal sport. I really believe it should be, and it would really be a tremendous honor to see that happen. If that possibly would be before I do go off up into the bowling gods up there in the big blue sky. So, but I do want you to know that I could have done all these things that you heard about without a lot of support. And first of all, I got it from my family, and as pointed out, we overlooked my wife Debbie. But I overlooked her at a presentation just 10 days ago. And I also overlooked her back exactly 19 years from this day today. This is a special day in my life. And 19 years from today, I won the 1976 ABC All Events title. And that was quite a big thing. I was only 21 years old, third ABC. I didn't even know what I was doing. And just to show you how much I didn't know what I was doing, after we won it, we were so happy. Our 5 guys, we all left. And we went to the hotel, and they called us and said, hey, you got to come back and get your picture. I said, oh, okay, well, okay. So we went back. Then all of a sudden I remembered, oh, I left my girlfriend Debbie there. I left her at the stadium. Didn't take her. So I had to, of course, when I got back for the picture, she said, remember me? Oh, yeah. So we took her with us. We got to have a picture. But anyways, it is a special day today. It was May 2nd, 1975. It was the last day of the tournament, the last shift of the tournament, and we won it, and we beat out the team that was going for its second in a row. I can't recall the team, but it was going to be their second ABC All Events title in a row, which would have been a record at that time. So it was quite an honor to whoop them guys that last day. They're by the way, they're from Detroit. But sorry about that. Anyways, bowling has really been good to me, and like I say, without my family and my kids, and without their support, Rob, my son, and Nikki and Nina, our 2 teenagers that know everything, it wouldn't be possible. Also, I could have never gotten here without a good staff. Without people like Jeff Kors, my general manager, and my mechanic who's been with me for 10 years plus, Dave Martinson, who keeps my center in as good a shape as any in my mind. And I'm sure Gene feels the same about his center, and some of the other proprietors feel the same about theirs. But without good people, Gene and Dan and myself, we can't do things in the bowling industry unless we've got good people working for us, and we're lucky. And my newest addition, Cam Cash, our bowling center manager, and he hasn't gotten through a full year yet, but he's certainly had his, he's probably thinking he's been through about 3 years of it already, if not more. But without these people, and people like Sis Mueller, who's back in there, she's been with me now almost as long as I've been alive. See, I think she's been with Colonial Lanes, is it 38 years now, Sis? Or 36? 36. I lose track. Anyways, without her, I wouldn't be here either, because she basically took care of all of our youth, which was brought up earlier. That's a really important thing. And that's where we need to start, is with the youth. It kind of goes from there. But not only the staff at Colonial Lanes, but then I could have done it without my community here in Rochester. You know, if people wouldn't have been as good as they have been, and it starts with you as bowlers, being customers of ours at all of our bowling centers in the Rochester area. I couldn't have done what I'm doing because I couldn't have had a chance to get out to get there. I do appreciate your patronage very much. Also, I do want you to know that we're very welcome and very fortunate to have somebody like Gene Morgan over at Recreation Lanes as another fellow proprietor. We had some pretty tough times there for a while, back about 5-10 years ago, where we were all working together, and I think we're getting a little bit more united. We're doing a lot more things as a group, and I do want to bring up, I realize this is my induction, but Gene Morgan has done a tremendous amount of work on Celebrity Bowl Charities, our pull tab group, which is the reason why we've been so successful. Just to give you an idea how that group has changed, Gene, myself, and Tom, as I pointed out, were the first 3 guys to get the whole thing started. Now we've got about 25 sites around the state. Before Gene took over, we only gave out like $73,000 worth of donations. Last year, after we've been through it now for a whole year, we've given out over $250,000 worth of donations just by his taking a lot of time to get that whole thing off the ground. But we're all involved with it, but it's a real special thing because it kind of leads into this next item, and that was this Team Japan, Team USA match, which we had about 10 days ago. By the way, we're pretty lucky to have people like Rick Weedman in the Post Bulletin doing race articles for us, especially the one that you did on mine.
Yeah. All right.
Really good job on that one. But he did do a nice job on the Team USA, Team Japan match. But that was really a great day for us. I want you folks to know that you're out there selling these program books. This one here went for like $3, and this one you got for another $1 for $4. And what we did is we donated all the proceeds to the people of Japan from that earthquake that they had. And we were able to come up with $1,700 for all of our efforts that day. Gene threw in $100, I threw in $100, and Jerry Koenig, the executive director of USA Bowling, threw in $100. But I was really very appreciative of all the people that helped sell these programs and all of the work that was done that day. It was really neat to give the people from Japan that check for $1,700. I have to tell you that this tour that they had was a 10-day tour, and our stop was the last one, and the people in Rochester did the very best job of any of the stops. And they started in San Francisco at some pretty highfalutin places, went to the Reno Bowling Stadium, $46 million stadium in Reno, and they didn't even do as good a job as the people in the Rochester area did. So I compliment every one of you for helping me on that project. And I do once again want to thank my teammates too that got me where I'm at here today. As Steve pointed out, Dick gives out a lot of information. Sometimes we don't want to hear on Dick. He has a lot of information. He is a hell of a bowler. And I'm pretty impressed. That guy's in his 40s. I just hit 40. I don't know if I can keep up with him. But he's a heck of a bowler, and I really enjoyed the days when we all got together as a group. And I'm sure it had a lot to do with well, some of the things that I've been able to accomplish in my life. So, let's see here. A little 5 minutes over the time frame here, but I do want to thank all of you for this award. It's a great honor, and I do have a lot more to tell you about. If you want to see me later, I'll